Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Naomi
Yes.
and
Sumaya, Sheeba.
thank you for following us. Thank you for all the comments, all the views. We appreciate you and we ask you if you have more questions about the videos that we should make, just comment down below. Today's topic, we want to talk about kids from immigrant parents. For example, parents that have been reunited with their kids when they came here to ask for asylum, or parents that have given birth to African or any other nationality kids that are not really Dutch. In most cases, when you take your child to a Dutch school, after a while they'll call you for a meeting and they'll sit you down with your child and tell you, yeah, we think this school is not fitted for your child. Maybe you should take your child to another school, and you will find out that that school where they are asking you to take your child are only refugees there, or people from different nationality, not Dutch children. And they act like they are helping you, but actually what they are doing is make your kid
Not learn like the way they should learn.
exactly.
For example, from experience, I have a nephew who came here when he was 10,
Mm-hmm.
and I took him at school. And the first year we were in RZC,
Mm-hmm.
he was learning in RZC school, and everything was going okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a house and went to the house, and close by us here there is a school.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the nephew at that school, and I was called a few times. Complaining that he doesn't learn like the other kids, that he's 1 year behind, and they were advising me to take the child to another school. And that school, I won't mention the name, but it's only Moroccans or Tokayos of Africans or refugees, that the kids, refugee kids like him, of course. But I've been to that school. They don't learn. They teach them like technical things, small things, and those kids are always on the street walking. It's like they already know, take them that they're worthless. They can't learn. So why are we talking about that? If we want to advise you, if you have a child and they call you at school telling you the same thing, what would you do? For example, I have few other parents that are already complaining, and you have to stand on your foot. For example, what I did, I told the teacher, no, I'm not taking my son. Of course, for then he was my son because I was raising him. I'm not taking him from this school. I want him to stay in this school. Of course, they don't have power to send the child away if you say no, because if they do that, that means they are discriminating your child.
Yes.
So you can build a case against them. So they started giving him a work, and I used to help him with his work. Not even help him. We African kids, we learn more than anyone else can learn. You know how we learn in Africa. We even learn useless things that we don't need, but we still pass them with flying colors. So at school, they used to give them like 5 questions. That is homework. At school, they study a few hours, they are in break. Few hours and they are in break. For a child who just came to Africa, that is damaging. They are mental because they are not used to that freedom of doing what you want anytime you want. You can even say no to anything, and it's okay, no one will touch you. So one day also they called me and I said they told my nephew to do housework and he said no. So I went to school. I asked him in my language, why did you say no to the teacher when he asked you to do homework? He started breaking down and crying. He said, I don't know, but he just did it. But the teachers already pointed him out as someone who can't learn, who can't catch up with other kids. So all I did, they said he's back 1 year behind his homework. He just come back home, he goes to pray outside. He sit there and just do homework for 1 hour, and that can be just like 3 pages. But at school, they expect him to do just 5 numbers. So then when he did that, he started passing, and then I was called again telling me that
Your child is too smart.
I think your child is doing too much. You don't give him time to pray. He's doing the books before other kids. You should let the child to pray. I asked the teacher, did my nephew tell you that he doesn't pray? He said no. I asked Kasim in front of them, my nephew, and how long do you sit on your homework? He said 1 hour. And I said, how many hours do you have after school and before you go to bed? It's like 8 hours. And the teacher,
That's impossible. But anyway, 8
yeah,
hours.
Yeah, sometimes they come back at 1. Sometimes,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I do going to bed time. That
Oh,
is a lot of time.
yeah.
And then we passed that situation. And then time came to choose the high school. They told him already that they think it's better to go to that school again, where I said no. And then, so they entered this boy's head that he already also thought, yeah, it's okay. They said it's the best school for me. I went there and I sat with him. I'm like, they don't tell you this because they love you. They don't tell you this because they think you're smart. they tell you this because don't want you to learn to be on the level that you deserve. You're going to this school which is there, and it was for only Dutch. If you see any black child or Moroccan child, there were like 3 few in the whole school. And I liked it, that school, because then the child has a chance to learn what other kids learn, you know. And then I went to school and we're like, yeah, we think because of his language and the way he started with few less class, it's better that he goes there. They can help him with his language. I said, no, he won't go there. He's going to this school. And then he went to that school, and he's a smart kid that he could do a bigger level, but they said he can do a basis because they think it will be difficult for him. The first term, he passed everything, like passed everything. Because I told him, you have to show them what you got, because they think you're stupid. Yeah, I was always direct with him, because he's a tall boy, and the boys of his age, they are like kids. And then he passed, and the next term they put him in another class. He started passing that class the first term, and the second term he dropped. And I was worried, why are you dropping when you were passing well? Yeah, I don't want to be a nerd, because there is a boy in my class, he's called a nerd.
Because he's smart.
Because he's smart, and I don't want to be that. And I sat with him, I told him, you see those kids? You think you're scared to be called a nerd, but you can go to the supermarket, ask a job with that boy you think is your friend. They'll give him a job and they won't hire you. Not because he's smarter than you, but because it's your color and where you come from. You're different from him. You have to work 10 times more than them. If they are doing 5, do 20. That is how I got to raise him to go out of that situation, to know that he's different. And it can never change. Even if he speaks fluent Dutch, even if he grew up here, no one will see him like a Dutch person. And I gave him for examples, like as a parent. He used to go out. I told him, without knowing, one day you go out with your friends, they go in trouble, but the trouble will come to you. No one will expect them that they did something. And it happened. One day they went outside with this young boy, his age, but because he's tall, and one boy started teasing a girl. Because he was a tall one, the mother came attacking him. And then he was the one becoming in between them to separate them from fighting, but it became his problem. He came back and he told me, and I told him, do you see what I told you? One day they went to carnival. Also, the same boys started fighting. When they started fighting, he came in between, and he is the one who got the boot on the head. When police came, they checked him if he had alcohol. But he was just 15. No alcohol, no drugs. But his head was hit, and they said there were no cameras. So he came back with stitches. From that day, I think that is when he started learning and knowing that he's different, and he has no chance when anything happens and he's with these boys. From since then, he started hanging out with those boys. But then his life is better. Now he's doing Habio. But there is a lot of cases of women that they send your kid special schools where they can't even learn, because they don't want the kids to learn to the certain level. They want them here and fail. If you can tell them about the story of us also going to school, what was your challenges? Okay.